The Democrats are finding themselves in a real pickle. They have been desperately trying to figure out how to get Joe Biden out of the 2024 race. They're not even considering Kamala Harris. Her numbers are even worse than Joey's. And it appears that the Democrat comrades' top apparatchik are leaning towards shoving Gavin Newsom, the man who destroyed the state of California, down the party faithful's throats. But as I see it, the Democrats have one serious problem in their way for 2024. And his name is Robert Kennedy Jr. Let's get into it. RFK Jr. is a threat to the current communist regime that is the Democratic Party because he's not only not a communist, but he seems to genuinely love America and the American people. That's one of the reasons they hate Trump. Don't get me wrong. I will not vote for a Democrat no matter what. I'm done with that. With that said, RFK is pushing a few ideas that I do like. He's got a few crazy ones, but he's got a few that I like, so I will listen to him. RFK's campaign just said that he has hauled in an average of $1 million a day for the last 3 days of the second quarter of 2023 fundraising, which ended on June 30. Ohio's former representative Dennis Kucinich is now Kennedy's campaign manager, and I think that's like a huge mistake because he's a whack job progressive. But he says that fundraising is a sign of the public support for a courageous, authentic truth teller, and he's got something there. He went on saying, "We are hearing again and again that Mr. Kennedy is catching on because the public is fed up with the media smears. People are answering the attacks by opening up their wallets." He's right. He added, RFK Jr. has shown respect for the intelligence of the American people. The more people hear his message, the more he connects. Now, this is true. Polling is used a lot to figure out a candidate's popularity and the campaign's strength at any given point in time. Now, fundraising is one of the key metrics. If they can be broken down and you remove the George Soros types that funnel boatloads of money in, I mean, you can tell the popularity of a candidate. RFK Jr. claimed in an interview last month in New Hampshire that the mainstream media has dismissed my candidacy as an irrelevancy. Now, he's right. Now, he is the scion of the country's most famous political family dynasty, and he's trailing bobblehead Biden by a lot. But in the latest polls, he's in the teens in most surveys. That means it's still doable because anything can happen. What if RFK took off? What if he started to become popular because his message actually started getting out? So if you want to see Joe go, just push RFK, push people, your Democrat friends. Of course, you don't vote for him, but your Democrat friends, get them to take a look at RFK because he does make a lot more sense than from the current bobblehead in chief. And so the DNC has said this, that they are fully supporting Biden for a second term, ostensibly so he can finish the job of completely fucking up our country. And they said that there will be no primary debates between Biden, Kennedy, and Marianne Williamson. Remember her from the last time? People say, who the hell is she? She's making her second attempt at the White House, though. But here's the rub. About 300 million other people in this country know that Joe Biden completely effed up the country in more ways than one. He screwed up the economy, screwed up our energy sector. He screwed up our southern border. He has been censoring free speech that he doesn't like. But the comrades within the party apparatchik would rather die than let RFK Jr. win the party's nomination. They would rather allow Joe Biden to continue his destruction on everything good in this country than to allow a man who in most things is a moderate Democrat to take the reins. Now, that alone should tell you something about where the Democratic Party is today. They would prefer an 80-year-old Biden who has faced many of their concerns over his age, his physical and mental stamina, than to put a man in there who disagrees with a lot of the bullshit lies that the Democratic Party has foisted on us over the last 7 years. So they don't want a primary because they don't want people to physically hear and see Joe Biden stumbling, bumbling, and mumbling on the stage with RFK, who is light years ahead of him and would take him down intellectually. So they are robbing Democrats and the rest of the country for the general election of deciding for themselves who they think would best represent them in the White House. Up until about 5 minutes ago, they used to call that democracy. Being able to vote and elect the people you want to represent you. That doesn't exist under the Biden regime. Think about it. The DNC rigged the 2016 primary for Hillary because he funded the DNC, who in turn funded all the Democrat races throughout the country because Barack Obama left the DNC completely penniless. They screwed Bernie Sanders out of it, and he could have won too, but they screwed Bernie because Hillary was paying the bills. Now, this is all true because they were taken to court over it. And a lot of Bernie bros feel that they did the same thing in 2020. So the question is to the regular American Democrat voters, when are you going to pull your head out of your collective asses and realize that your party doesn't give a shit what you think or who you want to represent you? They are openly showing you right now. They can't make it more transparent than saying there will be no primary debates. And that's because the party apparatchik does not want the world to see Robert Kennedy Jr. intellectually tossing Joe Biden around like a Raggedy Ann doll on a debate stage. It's fairly obvious that Joe is not with us most days. I personally think Susan Rice and other Obamaites are really running the administration. I really do. I think old Joe goes to bed very early in the evening while the others are up planning progressive ideas to screw up the country, and he just implements them like a puppet. I think around 6 o'clock every night, they sit him down in front of a television, give him a handful of grapes, and let him watch Matlock reruns until he falls asleep. And this is the guy that they give full support for re-election. So my advice is to get as many people in the Democratic Party to give a look and a listen to RFK and to demand from the apparatchik of the party to give them a fair chance. Demand that they get a debate going because you deserve to be as best informed as you can be on the candidates who are running. That's what debates are for. So you can see how each candidate will field a question. It's not about the wonkiness of the answers, about government policies. It's about how they handle pressure. And you want people to know that there is another choice out there other than Bobblehead Joe. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.